All right, so good morning again, everyone. It is the 19th of May, Thursday morning here. What I'll be going through today will be, being a Thursday, the dollar index, the US yen, the euro yen, pound yen, and also gold. What we've actually seen overnight was a lot of movements, especially in the yen pairs. We were just talking about that last night, or a lot of activity about that last night on the club platform as well. So if you are watching us on YouTube, remember this is a delayed release onto YouTube. If you haven't already, check out the links, check out the comments, join us in the club just so that you can catch this live and also, ask questions in the chat during the session if you have any questions, and also join into the club platform where you can get guidance or ask questions about any trades if you need any help with your trading journey. With that said, any information shared in this video is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of myself. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. Right, so very quickly, what we have actually seen is that it was a little bit surprising last night with the big moves that we saw in the markets. I was anticipating, just showing you what happened last night, I was anticipating a little bit of a quieter evening, a quieter night, but actually what happened was we had quite a few trades. Why I was anticipating that quieter evening is because you would see that there was not a lot of trades happening or not a lot of news to be released. The main thing was the CAD CPI month on month that got released was 1.4%, expected at 0.5. It came out at a 0.6%, right? So CAD CPI growing slightly more than expected, but still, retracing or not as quickly as from previous. So somewhat of a good news for the CAD, but what we actually saw was a short-term move before now retracing back down again. What to look out for moving forward here? Today, Thursday morning, we did have the Aussie employment numbers. Employment change was 17.9K, expected a 30, very small number there at a 4K change. So a very small change in employment, but an unemployment rate dropped from that 4% to a 3.9% as expected. So that's relatively good news coming from the Aussie economy, and you would see that if I click on that, at a 3.9%, it is almost a historic low. It's never been that low before. Unemployment for Australia now at 3.9%. And because of that, what we saw was the Aussie reacted very positively. You can see here over the last couple of hours, pushing up. Over the last 6 hours, gaining almost 60 pips towards the upside, driven because of this news about the employment numbers released for the Aussie dollar. So what I anticipate here, just to add on, right? We're talking about the yen pairs, but since we're talking about the Aussie employment numbers, I'll show you here, Aussie dollar. So just to add on to that, when we spoke about this, I was looking for that downward move that happened, and now it's pushing back up above towards that 0.7 level. And if it does close above that 0.7 level, what I'll anticipate is that we could be looking at further upside for the Aussie dollar towards that 0.71 level. So what you could be looking for is a buying opportunity towards the upside. If it closes above 0.7, a 30 pip stop loss, a good 80 pip take profit level towards the upside, a 1:2.6 risk reward ratio towards that 0.71 resistance. Something to think about on the Aussie dollar. It's moved quite a lot already, especially if I show it to you on the H1 time frame now. It's gone, last 2 hours gone up. It needs to close above at about 0.7020. So I'll move that up slightly. So 0.7020, look for it to close above that point, 30 pips stop loss, 80 pips take profit towards that 0.71 resistance level. So that was the Aussie employment numbers from this morning. What else to look out for today? We do have the Euro current account, doesn't usually move prices too much. Nothing much else. We do have tonight the ECB monetary policy meeting accounts that could move the euro dollar a bit, but euro dollar has been pushing higher now. So I think that this might be the news that could push it a bit higher if we do see members from the ECB come around and talk further about increasing rates, getting off that zero, moving towards a higher rate, or adjusting policy towards higher rates to taper down or to control inflation in the Eurozone. With that as well, that reminds me that club members, remember tonight we do have our club session where we'll be going through at 8 p.m. I can go through with you the monetary policy meeting accounts, and also looking at trades in the H1 or M15 time frame. We might be able to jump to some trades together from there. With that, nothing much else. We do have the US unemployment claims, not a big change expected there. And also because this is a weekly number, I don't think it'll push the dollar much in any direction apart from its current trend. And on Friday, not much else, with the Aussie parliamentary elections happening on Saturday. All right, so looks quite straightforward here for the dollar and also for the yen pairs with that in focus. Looking at the dollar index here on the H4 time frame. Yesterday, I was updating that it seems to have found a base at 103.30. I was looking for it to test even 103 flat, for it to bounce back up towards that 103.60 level. What happened overnight was that it had that big move. We had a lot of FOMC members come out talking about rate increases, talking about more aggressive rate increases, which led to this push of the dollar towards that 103.77 level. But what we've seen now is after the US session, that big retrace back down. What I'm anticipating here will be for a continued move towards that downside to test that 103 again. So I'm looking for this to come down and test 103 again. So looking at some weakness for the dollar back down towards 103, maybe 103.30 before tonight's session again, pushing back up. So looking at that retrace and then that push back up again on the dollar index on the H4 time frame there. So what could we look out for in terms of the yen, right? US yen here. US yen on the H4, on the H1 time frame, you can see that overnight it has been dropping very significantly all the way down to that 127.92 level. So testing that 128 level before now bouncing back up. Looking at it on the H4 time frame, you can see it shows that big move down, but it came towards that similar level as what we saw on the 12th of May. It came towards that same level and bounced back up towards the 129 level. So what I'm looking for here, US yen H4 time frame, will be for further upside. Can you look to buy here? Your stop loss will be, if you look to buy here, your stop loss will be about 35 pips. Take profit at about 50 pips towards the 129 level. Could push higher, but this will be a slightly more risky trade just because it is right in the middle of that level. Right, it's right in the middle of us, bounced up from the 128 level, 128.50 level, moving upside. What I would say is hold off, wait a little bit. Let's see if the US yen will come down, test that 128.50 again, before buying up. So I would say wait it out at about that point. So 128.60. So you look to buy at about 128.60. I'll show you this. So look for this to track back down. And then if it tests and bounces off from this support level at 128.60, about a 30 pip stop loss there and a 60 pip take profit, you're looking at a 1:2 risk reward ratio towards the upside on the US yen on the H4 time frame. Don't rush into the trade right now. You could still make money if you jumped into it right now, but I think that there might be some retrace happening, because if you look at it on the H1 time frame, you can see that it's been climbing quite strongly over the last 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. It's moved towards the upside of a good 80 pips already, or almost a 90 pip move towards the upside. So I'm looking for some retrace, looking for it to test that 128.50 level before looking for any buying opportunities. That's the US yen on the H4 time frame. Now looking at the Euro yen, this is a lot more attractive, right? The Euro yen is a lot more attractive. The last time we spoke about this with club members on Tuesday night, I was looking at a counter trend trade, looking for it to reject that 137 level to sell down. That happened already. Right now it's bouncing back up, right? With the US yen possibly pushing higher, with the euro dollar. If I show you the euro dollar here, looking like it's pushing higher as well, pushing towards the 105.50 level. This would mean that the euro yen testing or breaking above this 135 level could present a good trading opportunity towards the upside. So what I will be looking for here will be at about 135.30. So 135.30, a 50 pip stop loss for a 150 pip take profit level towards the upside, towards that 167 level. You're looking at a 1:3 risk reward ratio towards the upside on the euro yen. This is trying to trade the euro yen in that range between 135 and 137. So you do need to wait for it to move up close above that point before looking to buy. Just be extra patient with the euro yen. I'm looking for a repeat of what happened here a couple of days ago on the euro yen, where it broke above this point and pushed towards the upside. Could happen very quickly, but you do need to wait for it to move up and close above this resistance level of 135. So US yen, be a bit more patient, wait for it, retrace before buying. Euro yen already pushing up, it needs to close above that resistance before looking to buy. What about pound yen? Pound yen bouncing off that 158 level, looking like it's pushing towards the upside. I like this as well, but this might be a trade that you might not want to look at on the H4 time frame. This could be an H1 trade. Why so? Is because if you will look to buy the pound yen from this point, your stop loss would be a big 160 pips downside, 130 pips towards the upside. Not worth the risk to reward for the pound yen on the H4 time frame, right? If I show you the pound dollar, pound dollar looks like it's found a slight base at 1.2340, looking to push higher possibly. So with that, back to the pound yen, I think that this will push up. You could look at this on the H1 time frame, and in that case you'll be looking at a buying opportunity above 159.50. So above 159.50, let's say 159.60, your stop loss will be tight. You can keep a stop loss very tight at about 60 pips, a take profit at about 100. You're looking at a 1:1.6 risk reward ratio towards the upside on the pound yen. This will be a H1 trade. You can look at it a little bit nearer, I think. So 159.50, stop loss about 50 pips, take profit about 100, a 1:2 towards the upside. I'm looking for a repeat of what happened here on the 17th again. So all that repeat patterns from what we saw a couple of days ago, if it does break above this point, we're looking for this quick move towards the upside. Again, pound yen, not ready yet. H1 time frame, something that you could get into, but you would want to manage a lot more closely, right? So with that, lucky last, looking at the gold, gold hasn't done too much. It's still sitting between the 1830 and the 1800 level, right in the middle there. I'm not anticipating big moves either towards the upside or downside on gold. Looks like it's going to sit in consolidation at this level. If you're looking to trade it in the short term, possibly not much to do. I think the focus should be towards the currencies rather than gold as a commodity now. But I would say look for it to test lower. If you're looking at longer terms, test lower to look to buy into value. All right. So quite a few trade ideas there. I think that over the next, well, today and tomorrow, it's more shorter term trades. We see a lot of volatility, especially driven by the dollar, right? The dollar volatility. We're going to see a lot more movements across the board with the other currency pairs. Traders Club members, make sure you join up for tonight's session at 8 p.m. GMT +8, where I'll guide you through the shorter term trades that you can get into and get out within the trading session. With that said, trade well, trade safe, and I'll see you tonight or tomorrow morning. Bye-bye now.